Hey everyone, welcome back to Caesar's Freedom Stead. Today, I'm going to show you how to grow huge arugula. Hey everyone, welcome back. So today I'm going to go ahead and teach you how to grow some huge arugula. Now if you see behind me, this is my arugula container here, the planter. So I grow these in half sunlight, half shade. If you see my videos in the past, I try to teach everyone there that you can out there that you can grow everything either in sun or in shade. It doesn't really matter. You just got to give them a little bit of sunlight. But the best thing about your leafy greens is that you can grow them mostly in the shade. And so I have them back here right now. These are huge, they're mature, and they taste really good and spicy. These are the few leafy greens that will actually taste a little bit spicy. They'll have a pepper taste to them. And so you could put them on pizzas, you could put them in salads, you could put them in pastas, all kinds of different things. It's amazing. Or you could just take it and eat it raw, just like this. If you like to have a little bit of spice with it, very, very unique taste with these arugula. They're so good. A little bit of a spice on your tongue. It's really good. Here we go. There's our arugula. Look how nice these are. These are huge. Look at these leaves. These are huge, very, very healthy, and they taste so good. I just ate one, and I'm probably going to cut a bunch of this off today for cooking. So we actually went to a restaurant one time where we got some pizza and it had some really amazing arugula baked onto it with some mozzarella cheese. It was so good. And so from then on, I was pretty much hooked with arugula. So I wanted to grow my own. But look at this. Now I'm going to teach you how to do this. Now you could grow a lot of small arugula. You could cut it really, really early and it'll still have a little bit of spicy taste. Or you can let it grow large and you'll have that full, just really strong, peppery, mature taste to it. The more you let it grow. But one thing to remember, the longer you let arugula grow, it'll actually become more and more bitter. So you want to cut it when it's about this length. These are about 8 to 10 inches, all of these. They're pretty large. One thing to look for in your arugula, if it's not doing too good, it's going to start to turn a little yellow. It's going to yellowish a little bit. Just want to cut those off. You're giving it way too much sunlight or too much water, because you'll start rotting roots and then the leaves will start turning colors and you'll kill your plants. So these, like I said in the beginning, I grew these in the shade. Right back here in my greenhouse. I kept them on this lower rack right here, and I'll have plants on top of it, and it gives it shade half the day. So these really only get half the day sunlight, which gives them this beautiful color right here. It's very, very healthy. It's so good. If you want to grow them out in the sun, you can. But if you're in a state where it gets really, really hot, 90s plus every day for long periods of time, don't grow them in the sun. They're gonna die, or they're just not going to do as well. And you don't want that. You want them to do as well as they can and be as healthy as you can. So grow them in the shade, like I do. You could grow them in a very small space like this. I'm growing everything on our greenhouse here this year, and so you got to strategically place your vegetables, leafy greens, and fruits of who will tolerate sunlight the most and who will tolerate the shade the best. And your leafy greens can always go on the lower racks because they will survive perfectly fine in the shade, just like these here. Let's go ahead and tear one of these off. Now look at that. Really yummy arugula right there. If you're new to gardening, you may think of arugula as like a small leafy plant, but they can actually get really, really big. And this is one of the smaller. Let's grab everything. That's a bigger one right there. These are big arugulas, and they taste amazing. If you see the size of this planter here, this is only about 6.5 inches tall. And this is about a 2-foot planter right here. They don't need a lot of space. You don't need a lot of space for arugula. So it's a leafy green. Leafy greens don't generally need a lot of space. So you can plant them very close together. These are about 3 inches apart from each other, all these plants, and they are doing amazing. Now, one thing to remember about arugula, if you wanted to keep on producing a lot of arugula, you need to go ahead and regularly take out your leaves. You need to prune them regularly. So really only grow arugula if you are a big arugula eater, or if you just want to try something different, because the more that you clip off, the better it's going to do. So you continue to eat your arugula, bake with it, cook with it, put in a salad or whichever, and it will go ahead and continually produce more and more and more. In the beginning, I would just cut the small leaves, and the ones that were edible, I'd eat them. The ones that weren't edible, I'd go ahead and just cut them off. And they will eventually grow into these big bushy-like stalks here of arugula. It is so good. So definitely a recommendation to those who like to have a little bit of a new taste, a spicy taste to their food. You could throw these right into anything. So I got the arugula back inside of its spot, right inside of its shade. Arugula is another one of those vegetables that is very easy to grow. As long as you give it really good drainage in the soil inside of your potting container, you should be fine. Keep it in the shade. Don't have it out in full sun. This is one of the plants that you do not want to have in full sun unless you're in a state where it doesn't get too hot. That is one thing that a lot of channels, you know, they forget to mention that. And they say full sun here, no full sun, you know, blah, blah, blah. It really just, it depends on the area where you're at. Obviously, if you're in Florida, you don't want to grow a lot of things right out in the sunlight, because it gets so hot during the summers, and a lot of people don't even grow stuff during the summers here unless they have large industrial greenhouses or they have shade. So you don't want to grow things in direct sunlight in a place that is way too hot and too humid. But if you're in a state where it doesn't get too hot, maybe 80, 85 degrees, you could grow everything full sunlight, but you could still manage to get away with growing them in the shade as well. And that is one of the focuses of my channel, to show you that you could grow a lot of things in the shade and they do just as well as in the sunlight. You do just have to give them a little bit of sunlight. Well, that's about it for growing arugula. It's pretty simple. Keep them about 2 to 3 inches apart inside of your planter. You don't need a whole lot of space. So this is one of the things you could grow in a very small space, like that planter I got back there. Give it mostly shade, a little bit of sunlight, and water it every day. Leafy greens need to be watered generously every day. Well, thank you so much. If you like this content, go ahead and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.